Hey, Whisper to Me. Hi, Laura. Hi, Scarlett. I was ready to come on like an hour ago, but I've been sitting here playing with, I had to reinstall Zoom about 5 times. I had to reinstall, what did I have to reinstall? I went to reinstall the extensions. I didn't know what it was. Then I did what Jimmy said, restart everything, and it all worked, of course, after I did all that. So I've been here for like an hour playing with this. Hi, Mama Ames. Hi, Danielle. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Mary. Hi, Evie. Sandy. Sonia. Hi, Sonia. Sonia Noga. It's your first time here, Sonia Noga? It's like Strega Nonna, the book. Janelle. Hi, Janelle. Isabel. Bazell. Pamela. Have you been, Pamela? I don't remember seeing you in chat before. Hey, Sabrina. Oh, before you passed out? Okay. Hi, Bernard. Oh my goodness, Bernard. I haven't seen you in like forever. How are you doing? Hi, your best friend. Hi, Carol. Hi, Linda. You got the notification, woke you right up? Great. Oh, you're SN. Okay. I knew something had to be going on. Okay, it's good to tell me because then I know, you know. Hey, Birdie. How are you? Randy, Tracy B. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, I was here for like an hour playing with the software. It was fun. I had a good time. Tamlin, CYNT, Sea Glass and Shells. To Scooter. So, and to all in the kitchen. I didn't realize there was a little tiny part of the water bead video that had like the dog clacking along the floor, and for some reason the volume went strange there. I might have to cut that out. It was like 2 seconds, but still could be jarring. You went to sleep, Kathy, listening to me play with beads? Hey, Kathy. Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda. Ruby. My blood pressure is still low, but I did spray paint a fire ring, and we were going to, I was going to have the kids stack the wood in the fire ring, but then it started, and we were going to go swimming, and then we were going to come back and stack the wood, and it started storming. So it cut out the swim time and all that good stuff. And then we had planned to go to this one place to eat, to get takeout that was brand new, and go check them out on Facebook. We spent all this time making the order. Jimmy goes down there and they're closed. This is like the second time. The other place that I wanted to eat at really bad closed because of the extreme heat. Yeah, and we don't have extreme heat now. It's supposed to be warm tomorrow. It's supposed to be going into a heat wave. I'll believe it when I see it. I would love it to be hot tomorrow. I want to go swimming. Oh, thanks, Sea Glass. Hi, Catherine. Now, I haven't heard from Kathy from Texas. So, Kathy from Texas, if you're listening, we'd love an update on your son, and we're praying for him and hope he's doing better. Hi, MH. Hi, Mandy Hall. Hi, who else did I miss? Who? Alicia, Joe March, I don't know, Carol Clark, hi. Hi, Lovies. Hi, Teresa Fisher. Okay, so I have a really interesting, well, 2 interesting stories to tell you about tonight. No, my blood pressure and stuff, and a lot of stress, but I'll be fine. It will be 75 here. Oh, it's supposed to be like 87. I'll believe it when I see it. Hey, Nana Jules. So I don't know which one to do first. They both have a connection to Ireland. I've got the fluids right here. 110 in Vegas. I wanted to go for a swim so bad, and then I wanted to go for a bike ride, and the river gone with the rain. Everybody goes like this. I have the same refrigerator. I can't remove fingerprints. And then I go, oh, really? What kind of refrigerator do you think it is? And then someone says, no. This one doesn't ever get fingerprints. And I don't even know that I even knew that when I got it. It doesn't ever get fingerprints. You think I'm like slaving away, I know, cleaning that every night before I go on. Oh, let me clean the refrigerator. Hurry up. It didn't happen. It did not happen. It's got some kind of a finish on it that does not get fingerprints. What kind do you have? What's the brand? Oh, it's stainless steel. All stainless steel is not the same. A lot of the refrigerators now have something that protects it from getting fingerprints. I've never once said, oh, get those fingerprints. The only thing I have to wipe off that refrigerator is if people spill stuff. And I didn't even know it until another blogger said something like, oh my gosh, I have the same refrigerator. Can you tell me what the secret is to getting the fingerprints off? And I'm like, well, oh, yours is a Whirlpool? Yeah, this is a, what is this, a Maytag? And I know, but this has something, I can look up the model and tell you this has something. The older stainless steel, which, but I'm thinking like my other stainless steel wasn't that new. It wasn't that new at all. And it didn't show fingerprints. But I don't know. But this one definitely doesn't show fingerprints. I could have the kids go there right now and rub their hands all over it. You wouldn't see anything. Thanks, Judy. So yeah, I'll look at it. I'm sure it has some kind of finish. But I will tell you that that with my other stainless steel appliances, what I did use was the Melaleuca, and this is going to sound crazy, the furniture polish, which is like an orange. It's like an orange oil. That's kind of like what it is, because they have natural so it smells like that orange oil. And I thought somebody was crazy when they told me this. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to put this orange oil on my stainless steel appliances? And she's like, yes. And it's going to keep them looking better and no fingerprints. And I did use it on my dishwasher, which is over there. And you would laugh. I still have the plastic on the top of my dishwasher, so that's why it doesn't show fingerprints either. But my other one, you can hardly notice it, and I'm like a lunatic because I have to do I still haven't done the whole reveal of the kitchen for the blog. I'm behind. But anyway, so of course there's no fingerprint showing on it. That's a secret. But if you put that on, then somehow it didn't show the fingerprints. They didn't come back, maybe because I don't know what it was. Yeah, this stainless steel doesn't give me any problems. Knock on wood. Mine is LG Orange Go. Oh, so you do use some kind of, well, yeah, then okay, then that makes sense. Orange Go. Melaleuca makes it's called Rustic Touch, which you can use on leather and you can use on a variety of things, but it also works on stainless steel. I do that until... Yeah, it hasn't. And Jimmy, it's very hard to notice because believe me, if Jimmy noticed it, it would be right off. Okay, so let's back to Ireland. So both of these stories have a connection to Ireland, but the reason that what I'm going to do first about the friend that was a con woman is I think it's very applicable to situations I've been in. I'm sure it's very applicable to situations you might have been in, especially on YouTube, and maybe things that it will help you look out for certain things. Because I know I mentioned before that there are people that will, like with the word con, right? And this author says it too. It's confidence. They're conning you by gaining your confidence. So I told a story a while back where somebody came in, and then you felt, I'm talking about in a restaurant, you felt you knew them, and then like the sixth time they came in, they said, after they had gotten to know you, oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. I don't have any cash, and my wife just called, and the baby needs milk, and this thing, can you bring it? You know I'm here every Friday or whatever it is, and that's when they don't come back. Right? Are we delving into travelers? Not really, but you'll see. We're delving into con friends, kind of like the frenemy. But this story is really very applicable to a lot of things. But same kind of thing. Same kind of thing happened to this person. That happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me. They ask to borrow money, they pay it back fast. They ask to borrow money, they pay it back fast. They've got your confidence, but they're all set up for the con. Okay, so let's look at this con job that happened to this guy. And maybe it'll keep you safe and on the lookout. And I think what he ended up doing, when you hear everything that happened to this guy, he ended up making a blog just on the con, okay? And he found out there were others that were conned by this person. Lots of others. Let's go into the story. So let me see. Let me go back and get, where is my story? I think it's here. Nope, that's my other one. Okay. So I'm going to put up pictures as we go along. Story time. I'm just getting the first picture. This is a brand new story. It was in the paper yesterday. So the title was, My Best Friend Was a Con Artist Who Scammed Me Out of $92,000 and Here's How I Got Justice. In the picture is Jonathan Walton and Mayor, M-A-I-R, a.k.a. Marianne Smith at Smith's tree trimming party, December 2013. I can help, she said, and with those 3 words, a 4-year nightmare began to unfold as I fell hard for one of the oldest cons in the book, the inheritance scam. But the scam wasn't cooked up by some fictional Nigerian prince soliciting me. Through a sketchy email, I fell under the spell of an immensely lovable woman who inserted herself into my life and became my best friend. Unfortunately, she was also an international con artist on the run from the authorities, and I was about to become one of her many marks. She scammed me out of nearly $100,000 using a series of brilliant confidence tricks as she simultaneously destroyed my sense of self and darkened my once joyful outlook. And as she was ruining my life, she was also scamming dozens of others around the world by impersonating psychics, mortgage brokers, psychologists, lawyers, travel agents, and even pretending to be a cancer victim. She was a true queen of the con, utilizing disguises and even plastic surgery to alter her appearance from one crime to the next. and she might have gotten away with cheating many more people if she hadn't unwittingly turned me into a relentless vigilante. Because instead of completely falling apart in the wake of her scam and the bankruptcy she forced me into, I somehow found the strength I didn't know I had to pick myself up from the wreckage, and I fought back. I started my own investigation into her scams, uncovered other victims, and painstakingly brought her to justice. Today, she's sitting in a jail cell in Los Angeles County, probably wondering how on earth she became the victim of a victim. Hang on here. I'm trying to put up another picture. Okay. The victim of one of her own victims. Allow me to explain. She introduced herself to me as Mayor Smith in May of 2013, and Smith is spelled with a Y. And Mayor is spelled M-A-I-R. When she joined a group of angry neighbors in my living room to discuss what to do about losing access to our building's swimming pool due to a legal spat with a neighboring building. I can help, she told us. My boyfriend is a lawyer who can get the pool back. I liked her immediately. We all did. She was brash, funny, extremely intelligent, and outspoken. Ironically, she came across as a woman who always told it like it is. She also came across as an incredibly wealthy woman. She wore $1,200 Jimmy Choos and once showed me her closet filled with more than 250 pairs. That's $300,000 in shoes alone, I thought to myself, but I later discovered they were all fake. After our initial meeting in my apartment that night, Mayor invited my husband, Pablito, and me to dinner. And over the next year, she frequently wined and dined us at fancy restaurants and always insisted on picking up the bill. I love you guys, she convincingly pleaded. I have a lot of money. Let me pay. We'd hang out almost every evening in our barbecue area, exchanging intimacies under the cool LA sky. Mayor told us she was originally from Ireland. And one night she pointed to a framed document hanging in her living room. This is the Irish Constitution, she said. See that signature at the bottom? That's my great uncle's. Since my knowledge of Ireland was scant, I believed her. I had no idea that, like her shoes, this tale was also fake. Mayor brought me Irish tea and pastries. She regaled me with her stories of how, when she was a young girl, her grandmother, who was supposedly in the Irish Republican Army, would bring her to the top of a bridge and teach Mayor how to hurl Molotov cocktails down on British soldiers. I was captivated and horrified, but her stories about her family were all lies too. When I tearfully confided in her that part of my family has disowned me for being gay, she pounced. My family disowned me too, she said, as she fought back tears. They're trying to get me disinherited. All of a sudden, we weren't just new friends. We were two discarded souls, bonding over our incredibly painful family circumstances. Hang on, I'm going to put up another picture. Mayor told me that an uncle, the patriarch of her family, recently died, and her cousins were dividing up the estate worth 25 million euros. She said she was supposed to receive 5 million euros, the equivalent of $6.5 million at the time, as her share of the inheritance. As months passed, she frequently showed me angry text messages and emails from her Irish cousins, threatening that she wouldn't get a dime of the inheritance. I didn't realize that Mayor actually created those phone and email accounts herself to impersonate her cousins as part of her scheme. Mayor told me that she had taken a lot of family money with her when she left Ireland many years ago, so she never needed to work. However, she claimed she enjoyed working, so she got a job selling luxury vacations at a travel agency in Los Angeles that her family did a lot of business with. She said her family's association with the company made it easy for her to secure employment there. 14 months into our relationship, Mayor and I were like sister and brother. We even began ending our phone calls by telling each other, "I love you." She told me that her barristers, I had to Google that word to know what it meant, were having trouble trying to secure her inheritance, and that they had warned her about a clause in her uncle's will that stated that if any family member was convicted of a felony, they would have to forfeit their share of inheritance. Mare was building up the framework of her con in such enthralling detail that I became an actual player in scamming myself. Instead of telling me the next step in her deceitful story, she got me to tell her. "You better be careful," I cautioned her. "Since your family does a lot of business with the travel agency you work for, one of your disgruntled cousins might try and set you up, get you convicted of a felony, to keep your share of the inheritance from you." I'd read news stories about husbands knocking off their wives for $1 million insurance policies. We were talking about $6.5 million here, and according to the emails and texts, I saw many of her family members certainly appeared to hate her. Why wouldn't they set her up, I thought. On July 8th, 2014, my phone rang. "You have a collect call from," it's Mayor, "an inmate at the Century Regional Detention Facility. Press 1 to accept," the computerized voice instructed me. I quickly pressed 1. "You were right," she sobbed. "I was arrested today. My family set it up to make it look like I stole $200,000 from my job." "I told you this would happen," I yelled into the phone. I was distraught. I quickly found a bail bondsman, and I paid him $4,200 to get her out of jail. And that's when I first learned that her legal name was Mary Ann Smythe, not Mayor Smith. She paid me back the $4,200 the very next day when she was released from jail. Or rather, the married man that she was dating at the time paid me back the next day. Little did I, or he, know it, but she was in the process of scamming him too. As the months passed, Mare showed me emails from her lawyers, assuring her that the criminal case against her was falling apart. I had no idea those emails were also from fake accounts she had created herself. Then, almost 3 years into our friendship, she told me that the district attorney prosecuting her case had frozen her bank accounts. She was devastated, so I started lending her money. Sounds familiar. She had immediately paid back $4,200 I used to bail her out of jail, so I felt confident she'd pay me back any other money I loaned her, of course. But that's the thing. The term con artist is short for confidence artist, because these individuals are skilled at gaining your confidence. And then, once they've attained it, they use it to scam you out of your money. Over the course of several months, I loaned Mare nearly $15,000. You think I'd be worried about giving her that much money, but I wasn't. Not at all. She was not only my best friend, but she claimed she was about to inherit millions of dollars. At least that's what all the emails from her barristers said, so I never even considered the idea that anything sinister could be taking place. Hold on, I'm going to put up another picture. One day, Mare called me. That was from Halloween, 2015. One day, Mare called me and said the DA was now demanding $50,000 to dismiss the criminal case against her. I didn't have $50,000 in cash, but I did have an 840 credit score. So I let her charge the $50,000 on my credit cards using her PayPal account to get the criminal case against her dropped, thereby opening the pathway for her to secure her $6.5 million inheritance and pay me back. I had only ever been to court for speeding tickets at that point. I knew so little about the criminal justice system. Besides, Mare was now like a family member. I just never imagined that she could be scamming me. A few months later, I was shocked to find out Mare had been arrested again. She said the judge in her case, considered charging my credit cards with her PayPal account money laundering, and punished her with 30 days in jail. The charge was not a felony, she said. It was a slap on the wrist, and she assured me once again that as soon as she got out of jail and received her inheritance, she would pay me back in full. Mare called me collect from jail every night. She begged me not to visit her. I don't want you to see me like this, she said, but I insisted. So I logged onto the jail's website to schedule a visit, and that's when everything fell apart. And the true devastation she wrought on my life started to reveal itself. The jail's website showed there had been no slap on the wrist. Mare was serving time for felony grand theft. I took the day off work and immediately rushed down to a Los Angeles courthouse. With trembling hands, I started reviewing every record from Mare's case that I could find. I discovered she had lied to me about everything. I suddenly couldn't breathe. The $50,000 I let her charge on my credit cards was really to pay $40,000 as part of a plea agreement to a felony grand theft charge she faced for stealing more than $200,000 from the travel agency she was working for. Had she not been able to come up with that $40,000, she would have received a 5-year jail sentence, not the measly 30 days she actually served. I discovered that her bank accounts had never been frozen. There was no wealthy Irish family or inheritance. She's not even Irish. Those were all lies she used to entrap me. I went home and I collapsed in my husband's arms. I didn't cry, I wailed. How could I let this happen to us? I sobbed over and over again. I was inconsolable. Eventually, my pain was replaced by breathtaking anger and the determination to do something. First, I confronted Mare in the parking lot outside our apartment building the day she was released from jail. I told her I knew she wasn't Irish. I knew no one froze her bank accounts. I knew there was no inheritance. She emphatically denied everything. That's exactly what these people do. Deny even when they're caught. That's not true, Jonathan. That's not true, she pleaded over and over again as tears streamed down her face. But I had finally learned that those tears, like everything else in her life, were a complete fabrication, and I was done believing anything she had to say. I balled up my fists, clenched my jaw, and walked away. We never spoke again. I went to the police days later in March of 2017, and I filed a report. The officer interviewing me seemed skeptical that there was anything they could do. "Don't give your money to strangers," was his parting words. So I started my own investigation. I dug up Mare Smith's yearbook and learned that she was born Marianne Andel in Maine and graduated from Bangor High in 1987. She later moved to Tennessee, where, according to her estranged family, she told everyone in town she had breast cancer and allegedly scammed her friends and neighbors out of thousands for treatments. They told me Mare was oddly obsessed with wanting to be Irish, so much so that in 2000 she went to Northern Ireland on vacation and ended up marrying a local and then stayed in the country for 9 years. In the same way that wooden stakes kill vampires and silver bullets kill... Hold on, I'm trying to put up another photo. Hold on 1 second. And silver bullets kill werewolves. Publicity kills con artists. I began turning my pain into a profound sense of purpose. I started an online blog and detailed how Mare had scammed me. Soon, Mare's other victims from all over the world started reaching out. I learned that she scammed $10,000 from one victim by impersonating a psychologist, according to allegations in a police report. She tricked our landlord out of $12,000 in rent by pretending to have cancer. I did some sleuthing and found out that Mare had low blood iron and would purposely avoid iron-rich foods so that she could strategically get admitted into hospitals for transfusions. And while sitting in the real hospital bed for a few hours, she'd ask a nurse to take her picture. And then she'd email that photo to her victims to better sell her cancer story. She used this particular scam a lot. I even got a call from a police detective in Northern Ireland. He told me authorities in Belfast had been looking for Marianne Smith for years. The detective said that she worked as a mortgage broker in 2008 and had scammed many other people and then vanished. And these are just some of the stories I discovered. All in all, Mayor Smith used at least 23 different aliases as she tries to convince people she's psychic. She worked as a psychic for years, scamming the most vulnerable of victims by using their innermost secrets and confidences against them. She's also been charged with felonies for fraud and grand theft in Florida and Tennessee under the alias Marianne Welch. The Los Angeles Police Department ended up spending 11 months investigating my case. I called them every day and became a huge pain in their ass. Finally, in early 2018, Mir was arrested at the halfway house where she was hiding and charged with grand theft for scamming me. She was then released. Now listen to this one, guys. This hits close to home. She was then released on her own recognizance, which was a huge mistake. 1 month before her trial, Mir filed for a fraudulent restraining order, asserting that I was threatening her with violence. I was forced to lose another $1,500 to her scams, the cost of hiring an attorney to fight her bogus claim. If a judge grants the restraining order, you would have been prevented from testifying against her at the criminal trial, my lawyer explained. Could this be her checkmate, I wonder? Thankfully, a prudent judge refused to grant the restraining order, and her criminal trial proceeded as scheduled. 4 victims testified against Mir in early 2019, and a mountain of irrefutable evidence was presented by the prosecution. Though she was only being charged with scamming me, the judge allowed testimony from several other people she conned to demonstrate a pattern. Mir did not testify in her own defense. As the witnesses described how she had scammed them, Mir sat there with an emotionless look on her face. That was probably her biggest tell to the jury. As brilliant of an actress as she had proved to be while she was conning people, remarkably, she didn't know how to act innocent. The only defense her attorney had for the jury was that I was supposedly making the whole story up. Sounds familiar. That I had persuaded all of the other witnesses, too, to make their stories up. People I didn't even know before Mir. Scammed me to lie under oath so I could make a compelling documentary about it, and he was terrifyingly convincing. I had, in fact, decided to make a documentary about Mir. When I took the stand to testify against her, her attorney asked me why. I want to warn people about her, I responded. By the time I'm done with Marianne Smythe, the world will know her face so she can never scam anyone again. Testifying at trial was particularly grueling because the prosecutor went over each dollar Mir scammed from me in extreme detail. Having to relive that experience in front of a room full of strangers ignited fury and embarrassment and regret in a new, especially painful way. I was an emotional wreck. I spent 2 years doggedly pursuing Marianne Smythe. It consumed me. I had to file for bankruptcy because of what she had done to me, and the 24 court appearances I made even before the actual trial, including continuances, pretrial motions, and hearings, meant that I had to miss a lot of work and lost even more money. Not to mention the cost of hiring 6 private investigators in multiple states and countries to ferret out all of her scams. But damn, it was worth it. Hang on, I'm putting up another. Okay. On January 9th, 2019, Marianne Smythe was found guilty of scamming me out of $91,784, and she was sentenced to 5 years behind bars. Out of all the victims I uncovered during my investigation, only 2 of them had ever reported her to the police, and that enabled her to continue scamming people for years before she met me. Most of her victims, like most victims of any con artist, were too ashamed to tell anyone what had happened to them. I'm ashamed too, but my desire to stop her from hurting others is much stronger than my shame. I'm forever changed by my experience of getting conned. I'm now suspicious of everyone and everything. I subscribe to multiple criminal bases, and I background check everyone. Often, I will suss out even the most minuscule inconsistency in someone's story upon meeting them and throw it in their face, demanding an explanation. Making new friends is not something I'm good at anymore, but that's not something that I can really help. I was taken advantage of by someone I truly trusted and loved. And when you're shattered in this specific, unthinkable way, it's impossible to go back to who you were before. While my life may never be the same, I hope others can learn from my experience with Marianne Smythe and by reading my story, avoid being swindled themselves. If you meet someone new whose backstory is filled with drama and intrigue, or even just really unusual circumstances, especially if there's money involved, there's a good chance they're trying to scam you. You might not ever encounter someone as conniving or cunning or deceitful as I did, but confidence games are more common than you think, and your entire life can change, yes it can, because you have trusted someone who wants what you have and will stop at nothing to get it. Now, the author of this experience here, Jonathan Walton, he is now a reality TV producer by day and a justice-seeking vigilante in his off hours. His experience putting a con artist in prison has woken him to a new calling in life, helping other victims hunt down their con artists in the name of justice and closure and healing. And you can reach him through his website, jonathanwalton.com. And so he is helping other victims out there. So if you've been conned by someone, you should check out his website. And I'm just going to go back to the chat before we go on to the next story. What did you guys think of that? Let's see, I'm just trying to read your comments here. Sounds familiar, right? But believe me, it's happening on YouTube. Fake restraining orders, bogus restraining orders. That's good. Hey, Kazmat. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Janelle. A bunch of you came in while I was reading. Hi, Bella. Hey, you go, girl. Hi, Deb. Evie. Has anyone ever been in that type of a position where they got conned out of money by somebody? Hi, Melly Mel. Hi, Grace. Mrs. Roger Rabbit. Mystery Truth Seeker, Jenny, whoever I missed, I see you too. Peggy Sue got married. Carla. Hi, Karen McCann. How are you? Hi, Jeannie. Elise. Flower Girl. Okay. Anybody have any experience with that? No conscience. Right. Yeah. Sadly, yes, Whisper. Was it someone you knew in real life? Did they come from social media? What happened? Want to tell us a little bit about it? How she picked her marks? I don't know. He's got a whole website. And it's got lots of other information on it. It has other people that have come forward that have been scammed about. So sad how being conned can change you. It's like the Bible says to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You have been conned as well. Oh, you have been conned as well, yeah. Great outcome, but it's aggravating. Victims have to go. Well, I mean, and also, the money she scammed him out of. The neighbor's tree is too full. I can't see them from your front door now. I think about the jerk that married your daughter. Did he was a scammer, Carla? What did Whisper to Me say? Did she answer about? "5 years doesn't seem long enough." No. Got conned on a fundraiser. The people really were not in need. You heard about a YouTuber pretending she had cancer. You read on his website that she had yeah, I said that as well. You might have missed that part. She changed her appearance. She even used plastic surgery to change her appearance. You've never been conned out of money, but you have heard a lot of stories of people being taken advantage of, results in honest people not getting assistance needed because people have been burned. Yeah, but I think going forward and publicizing this is something that needs to be done, really. Take the shame out of it, make people aware, and have people be more savvy. And let them know that people like this exist, because a lot of times you think, oh, you know, they use so many tactics by, oh yeah, oh really, yeah, I'm being this too. Oh really, yeah, that's me too. Oh really, I have that too. To try to connect with people just to get their money and whatever they're trying to scam out when they want their lives and whatever else. When you managed a pub, you put on a fundraiser for regular patron who had just been diagnosed with cancer. People shaved their hair and everything, and it was a successful night. Wow, I never saw that. Isn't that terrible? He was a worship leader, married my daughter, and started cheating with a girl in the choir, hired a private eye. He bought things and used her so bad. Oh, that's terrible, Carla. I think I remember you saying something about that before. You love it. You've been scammed so many times. It's sad. I say never again, and then someone needs help, and I do it. I've been scammed by the mortgage scammed. Wow. A coworker got conned out of $25,000 from a fake Craigslist ad. How? How, Tico? 100% bring awareness and prevent people from getting scammed themselves. People shouldn't be embarrassed. It's us good people who get scammed, good caring people. How come I can't see Megan? Bella Mac keeps talking to Megan, and I look up to see what the comment, and I can't see a Megan. You've never been scammed, Carrie McCann, but you're very cautious meeting new people. It's hard knowing if someone's real or fake. Yeah. You did work with someone that stole $60,000. She was a bookkeeper for the small company. You don't see Megan either. I don't know who Bella Mac is talking to, unless she knows somebody's name. That could be that. Just like when I call son of the All-Father Tico, and people are like, I don't see Tico. But it could be something like that. You were 21 years old. Sadly, now I am harsh with people when I don't believe them and look heartless. Yeah, but you're protecting yourself from something. She did such a crafty job of stealing. They were too ashamed to prosecute. Wow. You see Megan? I don't see her. How come I don't see her, Dylan? Megan, do you have me blocked? Because I can't see you. Oh, now I can see her. Hold on. But I didn't see her before. The comments are moving so fast. Okay. I couldn't see before. I just saw Bella kept mentioning her. I remember being warned as a child about con artists. I'm not sure why. Something to do with selling his boat. He lost his boat. The deposit was temporary, and the bank never... Oh my gosh. It's probably... I know, yeah, it's one of those crazy darn schemes on Craigslist. And I'm like... See, I'm savvy with those. Like when people say... Because they'll go like this, I want your item. They don't even know what your item is. That's like the number one thing. But I'm going to pay you like 10 times what it's worth. And you can keep all the extra money. I just need you to put this check. I'm just like gone. You know, I mean, that to me is just, I'm very savvy like with that type of stuff. As we are faced with con artists, with two-faced people, it starts to harden us. Yeah, it does. It makes us, you know, make sure people are legit, and it's a very reasonable thing to do once you've been scammed. Some people ask for donations, and they show us what they bought on Amazon. Yeah, I've seen that too. Not even what they bought on Amazon, like plastic surgery and trips, and a couple of days before, like they were, I don't know. Yeah, I've seen that too. That's weird. And no explanation for it either. Absolutely no explanation for it. That's really bizarre. On Dr. Phil, he has been exposing scams. The last one, the woman did a cancer scan, and she did an multiple sclerosis one. A lot of times they'll use an illness as their crutch. That's what I want to show you on his site, okay? Because his site goes further into it. She would show up in court on crutches. You know, they use an illness like, or something that happened to them. And it could be something real, could be something fake, to make you feel sorry for them, to make you pity them, to make you not look into them. So they either have whatever, an invisible illness or something where they're wearing a cast or a crutch, or whatever it is, or they've had some tragedy happen to them to make them be a victim when they're the furthest thing from a victim of anything. Ted Bundy was a scam artist, but you paid with your life. Yeah, with the cast, always looking helpless. Can you help me to my car? I got this cast. Had a friend do that to you for 10 years straight. It was so crazy. She played the victim. And anytime something gets a little rough, I'm not feeling, I can't leave you. If you were as sick as me, I could not use crutches or a chair and pull it off. Happy I got the IRS. I told them, I have fun with those people. It keeps them from scamming others. Someone actually called your grandmother pretending to be your cousin. Oh, there's that one, right, that they do on those poor people that's like, they just throw a whole bunch of stuff out there like, Gramp, it's me. I'm in such and such a country. You can't believe that. And believe it or not, some of these grandparents just go off and wire this money to this perfect stranger. Money isn't the only thing they scam. A neighbor woman was scammed by a man who was really after her daughter. Yeah. You can have an illness and still be a nasty piece of work. Right, absolutely. They could use it as to their advantage. Let's put it that way. But in our family, we always call a scammer a rope-a-dope. I won't even talk to anyone I don't know on the phone. Someone tried to do that to your father? That's exactly what they did to her? Yeah, there's a scam like that. Or they have the one that they send like 1,000 emails that say terrible news. We were having such fun on vacation, and then, she lost her wallet and they can't get back. Could anybody just wire? And they hit a bunch of people thinking that maybe somebody will give a small Western Union and they'll get a whole bunch of them, right? People contact elder family members on Facebook in an emergency needing help. Yeah, there's a lot of scams. Any good books on how to spot scammers? Well, his website probably, but there's, I mean, yeah, maybe we should do something like that because so many people are getting scammed. But I think also some YouTube scamming too, and social media scamming, and lots of stuff going on. Or got arrested and have to wire money to get out. My mother-in-law got one of those phone calls about one of her grandsons. Because a lot of the times they go, your grandson is here. And, oh, which grandson? Timmy? You know, and then they just take it. Oh, yes, it's Timmy. He's here. We've got Timmy here. You know, that they know how to get those leading questions out there, that they get the names they need. Venmo, PayPal, no one should ever send through. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. You don't answer any calls. I don't recognize, delete any emails from anything. I don't trust any emails from legit companies without verifying it's a real email. Yeah, I'm going to go to that website because there is a couple of things on there that oh wait, no, that's not the right website. Hold on a minute. That's not the right one. Maybe let me see. That's not his website. Hang on. I'll give you his website is jonathanwalton.com. It's this one here. There you go. Mommy, didn't someone in your channel just say they were on vacation? I don't know. Hang on one sec. Hold on, I'm going to take care of this. I don't know. I think I know who this is. I've got to take care of this. Hang on one second. I guess some scammer's mad, right? Okay, you're buffering a little bit. It's not, I don't think it's on my end. Okay, so let me go back to, did I put the right website in there? I don't even remember what I did I? Hopefully. It's called, you're going to see it as Queen of the Con. And there's a lot of more to the story. Also, there's some video there. You'll see her on crutches because that's how they come in. And then you'll see on the one of the sides, there's other people like Bob said, "Thank you so much. Your blog saved me from her," were the first words out of Bob's mouth back in April of 2017 when he called me. Bob was Mare's last known boyfriend and was on the fast track to becoming one of her biggest victims. Mare was actually in the process of drawing up paperwork for Bob to add her name to the title of his 2 homes. Thankfully, someone printed out my blog about Mare being a con artist and showed it to him. When he brought it home to confront her, she didn't say a word in response. She just ran out of his house and never came back. Mayor met Bob on a Tinder date in late 2016. On their first date, after the recently divorced Bob confided in her that he wished he had a better custody arrangement with his kids, Mayor told him, as luck would have it, she worked as a 730 expert, which is a court-appointed child custody investigator. And she offered to help Bob get a better custody arrangement with his kids, of course, warming away and fulfilling a need he has. That's how con artists gain entry into your life. They offer to help you. For the record, Mayor was not a 730 expert. She was just a resourceful sociopath on the hunt for her next victim. Soon Bob started receiving text messages from Heba, an attorney that was supposedly working with Mayor to help Bob with his custody situation. Turns out Mayor was just using a Google phone number to impersonate Heba, who was actually a real attorney in Los Angeles and the sister of a former client of Mayor's psychic business. Yep, Mayor worked as a psychic for several years in Los Angeles and provided her with a revolving door of fresh victims. Sadly, most of them will never go to the police. As for Bob's situation, wouldn't you know it, Heba claims via text to Bob, and Mayor corroborates in person that they have found a ton of dirt on Bob's ex-wife. So Mayor, posing as Heba via text, claims to have tapped his ex-wife's cell phone and is doing some deep surveillance on her. Mayor and Heba via text tell Bob his ex-wife is running a BDSM sex club out of her house. While Bob's kids are in the next room, Bob is alarmed, but he's also happy at the thought of getting full custody of his kids and rescuing them from this supposed sex clubhouse. Of course, this was all a fantastic story Mayor created to get close to Bob, and it worked, and there were other stories too. Mayor knew Bob and his son were huge hockey fans, so she told him her good friend was Garth Snow, the GM of the New York Islanders. Mayor would show Bob text messages from Garth to prove it, and eventually Bob started getting text messages from Garth too. Bob was pretty disappointed when Garth, who was supposed to meet him at his church one day, never showed up. Something came up, Garth texted Bob to cancel. Something always came up. Something always does when you're dealing with a figment of Mayor's imagination. Bob later realized it was Mayor who was impersonating Garth Snow via text and emails the whole time. Mayor also told Bob about her wealthy Irish family and about a $25 million inheritance she was going to receive soon, and Bob, like the other people she scammed, believed her. Why wouldn't he? She had laid the groundwork flawlessly. One day, Mayor drives Bob to this $12 million house in Newport Beach. She says she's going to buy it soon with her inheritance money, and she wants to put Bob's name on the title and co-own it with him. She contracted a realtor and actually looked at the home a dozen times with Bob. She even ordered a home inspection and put an offer in writing on the home, because she told Bob her $25 million inheritance was coming any day. That's crazy, Bob told her about the idea of adding his name to her new home. If our relationship goes south, I'll own $6 million worth of your home. That's not right, Bob said. I can't live with that, he said, to which Mayor artfully replied, okay, if you put my name on the title of both of the homes you own, we'll be even. So Mayor drew up papers to get Bob to add her name to the title of his two homes, and then fate intervened. Bob's ex-wife was becoming extremely curious about the woman suddenly in her ex-husband's life. Mayor was spending more and more time with Bob's kids, so she Googled Mayor Smythe and found my blog online. She was gobsmacked. She quickly printed it out and shared it with Bob in person. When Bob got home, he handed Mayor the printed blog. She looked at it for a second time in stunned silence, and then suddenly ran out of his house as if someone was going to chase her, and never came back. If Bob had put Mayor's name on the title of his two homes, she would have legally owned them too, and he'd have to pay to buy them back from her or spend years in court trying to prove he was scammed, because it does take years. Ask me how I know. And then there was Sarah, was Bob's nanny. That Mare, aka Marianne Smythe, got fired by telling Bob she's a drunk and a bunch of other crazy made-up stories to paint her as irresponsible and untrustworthy. Smythe wanted Sarah out of the picture so Bob would lean on Smythe to help with his kids so she could better insert herself into his life and his home. So she got rid of course, they get rid of anyone that's close to the person they're trying to take over or, in her say, marry him, whatever. Sarah took care of those children since they were babies, and being fired devastated her. Smythe then hired Sarah as an apprentice to her real-life coaching scam and let her listen to her clients' recorded sessions without their consent. Unbeknownst to Sarah, of course, Smythe was not really a psychologist or a therapist. She pretended to be one so she could treat patients, get all their personal information and secrets, and use it to scam them. Also, to get Sarah to move and not to beg for her job back, Mary included the author, Jonathan Walton, in her scam. I'm a TV producer, so Smythe told Sarah that I was looking to hire a tutor to be on the set for some kid, and that it was part of a reality show, so she'd be on camera. In reality, I was producing a travel channel series called Booze Traveler at the time, featuring 0 kids, and was certainly not looking for a tutor. Andrew is a wealthy Los Angeles politician and partner in a huge real estate planning law firm who met Mare on one of those cheat on your wife websites. Mare convinced him her wealthy Irish uncle was dissolving a $1 billion family trust and wanted to leave the bulk of his estate to his wayward gay son who was living in California, who the uncle had cast out 20 years prior. Mare let Andrew to believe that the uncle would hire him to handle the trust. I don't know how much money Andrew thought he would make from handling a $1 billion trust, but it must have been a considerable amount because whenever Mare needed, say, $25,000 to add a new roof to one of her estates in Ireland because her money was tied up in CDs, Andrew was happy to oblige. Or when she needed $4,200 to pay me back for bailing her out of jail, he was there with the cash the next day. Early in their relationship, Andrew made the fatal mistake of confiding in Mare that he once had a crazy mistress named Jen, years before he met Mare. So right when Andrew was running for re-election, Mare impersonated the crazy mistress using a fake email account and texts from an online phone number and threatened to go public with evidence of their past affair to destroy Andrew's chances of winning his election. So the real Mare, pretending to be a supportive girlfriend, agreed to help. He married her married politician boyfriend by hand delivering $50,000 in cash to this paid past mistress as hush money. Of course, Mare had help from her Irish cousins, Finian, Damon, and Tristan, who in reality were other fake online identities Mare created using fraudulent email accounts and online phone numbers to communicate with the married politician. Andrew would later find out that it was Mare impersonating his former mistress, Jen, all along. In total, Mare scammed more than $80,000 from Andrew, but do you think he went to the police? Heather. Mare impersonated a psychologist and scammed Heather into taking fake life coaching and therapy sessions from her. Mare then used the intimate details she gleaned from Heather's sessions to scam her. For instance, she tricked Heather into believing that the guy Heather was head over heels in love with was also taking her life coaching classes. And he, of course, was not. But that didn't stop Mare from impersonating the guy using online phone numbers and fake email accounts, all in an effort to trick Heather into believing he was. Mare kept reiterating to Heather that if she took more life coaching sessions and more therapy sessions, Mare would be able to broker a romance between them. $10,000 later, Heather realized it was a scam. The guy Heather was in love with had never even heard of Mare. Heather was devastated and embarrassed, and Mare proved herself once again to be a master manipulator of human emotion. A woman as heartless as she is creative in impersonating a doctor got added to her long list of felony exploits. Heather was the only one of the dozen or so other clients Smythe scammed with her fraudulent life coaching racket, who had the strength and the courage to report Mare to the police. All of her other victims begged me not to mention their names, which of course enables Smythe to keep scamming people the LAPD is investigating. Marcy is a wealthy West Palm Beach housewife who met Smythe on a psychic hotline. They quickly struck up a friendship. They'd meet in New York City on girls-only vacations. Marcy had no idea she was being targeted by Mare. Marcy's husband filed for divorce from Marcy scamming her out of $150,000 as one of his grievances. He cited that. Neither Marcy nor her husband reported her to the police. The landlord, I was Mare's neighbor for years. I had no idea she got out of paying rent for so many months by convincing the manager of our apartment building that she had cancer and she was frequently in the hospital, either getting surgery or chemotherapy. Our building manager felt sorry for her, as any human being would, and Mare skipped out on paying more than $12,000 in rent over the course of 5 months. Who would lie about having cancer? In actuality, this cancer bit was just a recycled scam Mare had used with much success in her youth, according to her estranged family. Mare did have the low blood iron, and from time to time we went over that one. 2 neighbors in the building were conned by her. She conned 2 neighbors in the building using the same Irish inheritance scam she used on me. She took one neighbor for $5,000 and another for $2,000. Both neighbors do not want to go to the police. They wish to remain anonymous and want the whole thing put behind them. Ned is a patient at a facility for the mentally ill. Mare faked mental illness to get room and board at that facility. When the law began catching up to her, it was the perfect hiding place. Ned was living off his Social Security and veterans benefits, and Mare targeted Ned, who's in his 70s and in poor health, and convinced him she was in love with him. And wanted to marry him. Mare also pretended to suffer from the same mental illness as Ned, which bonded them even closer, of course, right? One day, Ned noticed the legal name on one of Mare's prescription bottles did not match the name she had given him. While Ned is mentally ill, he's not stupid. So he Googled her legal name, found my blog, discovered she was a con artist, and dumped her. If Mare had been able to execute her scam and marry Ned after his death, she would have collected his Social Security and veterans benefits as a living spouse for the rest of her life. Chris. Mare told the guy she was dating for a couple of months, Chris, that she was good friends with Jennifer Aniston, and she'd show him text messages from Aniston to prove it. Since Chris worked in TV production, Mare was telling him that Jennifer freaking Aniston was interested in working with him. It was great bait, to be sure, but Chris eventually figured out those Jennifer Aniston text messages were actually coming from a Google Voice account that Mare herself created to text herself as Jennifer Aniston. Then he dumps her. He figured out it was a major red flag. Boy, did he dodge a bullet. Mare's con in this case never got off the ground. And then there was Jonathan, who she met on Tinder. He was a well-to-do businessman in LA. At one point, Mare was using another Google phone number, impersonated a client of hers, a studio exec, who worked at a big movie studio here in LA, to try to get Jonathan, the wealthy guy she was dating, to pay $15,000 to the studio exec for some tickets to a major award show. His young daughter really wanted to go to this star-studded award show, and he was going to surprise her with tickets. The studio exec had no idea Mare was impersonating her and doing this. She has since hired a lawyer and is pursuing a case against Mare. Jonathan never actually handed over the $15,000 for the tickets. He got a weird feeling about it at the last second and changed his mind. But then Mare, pretending to be this studio exec via text, sent a lot of lewd sexual advances to Jonathan to create drama. Robert was dating Mare for a few months after meeting her on Tinder, so she was stalking a lot of victims through Tinder. He was the head of a nonprofit foundation. Suddenly, Robert started getting texts and emails from Mare's cousin. Finian, offering to donate $100,000 to his foundation. He had no idea it was Mayer impersonating Finian the whole time, and that Mayer was trying to steal his financial information in the process of his donation. He eventually was able to figure out she was trying to con him and dumped her, but he wouldn't tell me how he made that discovery. One of the best friends is a high-ranking member of law enforcement, so I suspect that had something to do with it. It goes on. Marianne or Mayer sold luxury vacations at Pacific Islands, travels for a couple of years. She cleverly created a personal PayPal account using the words Pacific Islands in the name and took customers' vacation payments into her personal bank account. She eventually got busted by the cops, but she had stolen close to $200,000 by that point. And let's see, Michael she dated him for a few months. He was actually of Irish descent. Mayer convinced him she was dying of cancer and needed his help to take over her multi-million-dollar trust in Ireland. And she needed that so he could take care of her daughter financially after she dies. Her cousin Finian was arranging a trip to Ireland to meet Michael, or of course, it was actually Mayer emailing and texting Michael, pretending to be Finian. At some point, Michael got suspicious and dumped her, and then one of Finian's hired guns, another character Mayer impersonated via text, told Michael that Mayer had died. Before her death, she was pressuring Michael to send her his legal name and social security number so she could help him get a passport to travel to Ireland. With Mayer's history of applying for credit cards in people's names and charging up thousands, it's a good thing Michael didn't give her any information. So yeah, you could check out his website. I did. There's a lot of there's more on there. And then if you have been victimized, you can email him or text him, and so it's a good resource for that, and can teach you how, just because somebody shows you a text or something, they're making up all these fake accounts and everything, just no different than what we've seen over and over. Okay. So, did Kathy come on from Texas? Did we see Kathy yet? Okay, so that's that one. Now we have another story that's also in Ireland. It has nothing to do with this one. Okay, because somebody said something, so I didn't know whether she was in. But definitely prayers for Kathy's son, prayers for Angel Kelly's mother, prayers for everyone that needs help in the community, for everyone in general. Okay, so did I put the right link in there? Because I got distracted when I got that phone call. Yes, be careful. There's the website. All right, so next story. Okay, so now we have an Irish businessman named Jonathan Corbett, right? He was married to a lovely woman. They had a son and a daughter in Ireland, and his wife was asthmatic. One night she woke up, she was in an asthma attack. He called the ambulance, she went in the ambulance, she passed away in the ambulance, leaving behind a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So what is Jason going to do? He hires an au pair to help him. Well, this au pair came from the United States, and she was young, and her name was Molly. So she traveled there, and then they ended up going back to the United States to get married, okay? What happens is her father is a retired FBI guy, and his au pair was from Knoxville, Tennessee, right? But they ended up moving to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. he was able to transfer for the same company he worked with in Ireland to that area. And they bought a house. And this Molly had been raising these kids. She got very close to these kids. They were like her own. Okay. I'm trying to get to my notes stuff here because I don't want to miss it. I'm doing that by memory, and I hate just doing it by memory because then I remember something and I... So when Molly did go over to Ireland to help Jason after his wife died, he was at the lowest point of his life right then. And so he was really vulnerable, of course. So he started having the relationship. He started smiling again. And they decided to marry. So now Jason's sister, Marilyn, said the family began to become concerned when they went over to the wedding, and this Molly started telling stories that weren't true. She was telling people that she had been friends with Jason's wife that died and said she died from cancer. Now, everybody knows she died from an asthma attack, and they know that Molly never even knew the wife at all. But she was telling people this stuff, so they were getting bits and pieces that she was a liar, and what the heck was she doing? Why even tell, why would she even lie about that? And Molly also told Jason's family that she had a sister, Grace, who died of leukemia, which was not true. She later told Tracy that Jason, hold on, I don't want to jump ahead on that one. So there's a bunch of different stories when they were in the United States, and a lot of them said that Molly had become very controlling. Molly had been doing some things. She had been picking fights with him and then tape recording them. She was scheming and conniving from the get-go. In fact, after they got married in 2011, she went to a divorce attorney right after the wedding, getting things, her ducks in a row there. So this looks like a really calculated thing from the start. And where are my notes that I'm looking for here? Okay, so there was a 911 call, and it was from her father. Now, her father, this retired FBI guy, had started to come to the house, which was kind of weird, at this time, and he just happened to bring a baseball bat with him that he said was a gift for one of the kids, but he happened to have it in his possession this night. Jason actually was a twin. He had a twin brother back in Ireland, and he had a sister in Ireland, and family. I just want to get to the night of the attack here so that it's... She appeared to be a different person. People had the impression Jason's children from his first marriage were hers, while others had been told that Molly had met both Jason and Mags, that was his wife that passed away, before her death. Molly also told Jason's family she had a sister that died of leukemia. After Jason was killed, Thomas Martin's wife, Sharon, rang his twin brother, Wayne, and said there had been an argument. Molly had pushed Jason, who fell, hit his head, and died. She said her daughter was too upset to speak and hung up the phone. She later told Tracy that Jason had been drinking for 24 hours before the fight. We got lots of different versions of Jason falling and hitting his head, she said, but he didn't fall and hit his head. She happened to have a paving stone, like a paving on her bedside table. Now, the investigators are like, why would you have a paving stone on your bedside table? And she claimed that, oh, well, her and the kids were going to do a project and they were going to paint these. So she just, put that up. That's what, when there was this fight that ensued, I'm getting ahead of myself again. He wanted to leave the country, okay? And this is what started the fight that night. He had a bag packed supposedly for his kids and himself, and he was going back. He wanted to go back to Ireland with his kids. She wanted to adopt those kids. He did not want her to adopt the kids. He wanted to leave her. I'm trying to get to what the heck is my thing? Oh, here we go. Okay. So he had been preparing to take his 2 children back to Ireland when he was beaten to death in his sleep by his American wife and her father. The bag, which contained clothing for his children, Jack and Sarah, had mysteriously vanished from the murder scene when Davidson County Sheriff's Department officers arrived at Mr. Corbett's home in the early hours of August 2nd, 2015. Mr. Corbett's wife, Molly Martins, 34, and her retired FBI agent father, Thomas Martin, 67, are now serving 20 to 25-year life sentences in high-security North Carolina prisons for the brutal second-degree murder of Mr. Corbett. Hold on, I forgot to put the pictures on here. Okay. The murder trial heard traces of a sedative prescribed to Ms. Martins were found in Mr. Corbett's system, and that he had suffered such horrific damage to his skull after being struck by a metal baseball bat and a concrete brick that pathologists could not count the precise number of blows that were inflicted. I'm just putting up another picture. Now, his sister, Tracy Corbett Lynch, wrote a new book that's out, and it's been revealed that her brother was murdered just hours before he had planned to bring his children, Jack and Sarah, back to Limerick. My Brother Jason is published today by Gil Brooks. The book will be serialized in the Irish Independent tomorrow. She said, let's see, she's appearing on The Late Show about this book, and he made the decision to bring the children back to Ireland after a relentless campaign by his second wife to be allowed to adopt the 2 children who were born to his first wife, Margaret Maggs Fitzpatrick, who died of an asthma attack in 2006. The book also details the breakdown in the relationship between Mr. Corbett and Ms. Martins, who had a long history of mental health issues. The Tennessee-born woman, whom Mr. Corbett met when she flew to Ireland to work as his nanny for his children, had secretly gone to a divorce lawyer just weeks after she married the Irish businessman in June of 2011. Her primary query was what custody rights she had to his 2 children by his first wife. Mr. Corbett steadfastly refused to allow Ms. Martins to adopt his children over concerns about her mental health. Both his children had been told in the days before his death they would be moving back to Ireland. Ms. Corbett also revealed an insurance policy payable on Ms. Martin's husband's death had been altered in the months before August 2015. The policy had, on her brother's insistence, listed his 2 children as well as his American wife as beneficiaries, Ms. Martin getting 50 PC and his children 25 PC each. However, the policy was changed remotely by a computer a few months before the murder so that Ms. Martins was the sole beneficiary at the time of her husband's death. Incredibly, Ms. Martins had also hidden recording devices throughout their home, even under the driver's seat of her husband's car. One of the recording devices was discovered by Mr. Corbett's children, who thought it was a lost mobile phone. Ms. Martins had also repeatedly complained to neighbors about how Mr. Corbett treated her, despite the fact that in the 10 months before his death, she had spent $90,000 on clothing, meals, holidays, and trinkets for herself. Mr. Corbett was so worried about household spending, he had pleaded with his wife to adhere to a special budget. She also hinted to neighbors that she was the victim of domestic abuse. But the book reveals one of Mr. Corbett's children came across Ms. Martin's deliberately striking herself with a heavy hairbrush as to leave a bruise. Some neighbors were so worried by her bizarre claims, they considered bringing her allegations to the attention of Mr. Corbett in the weeks before his murder. Just the day before his death, Jason had been humiliated over his weight by Ms. Martins in front of both friends and neighbors, and he was so hurt by her comments, he left the party and went home alone. His last social media post was about how people would question all the good things about you, but believe the bad things without a second thought. Ms. Corbett Lynch, his sister, revealed that party humiliation was the final straw for her brother over his wife's bizarre behavior, and he began to bring his plans to bring her back to Ireland. Her brother had even begun plans to invest in a business in Limerick. And then he was killed. The father has a 911 call where he claims that Jason was strangling his daughter and that, he intervened or she would have been killed, and all kinds of crazy stuff that, they're convicted and they're in prison now. So there's a 48-hour special. It's called In Jason's Name. You can check that out, but it's an interesting case to discuss. And the sister came and got the kids from her, and they had like a tearful meaning. She didn't want to let them go, but yeah, check it out. Let me see. Anyone know about that one? Hey, Renee. Hey, Carol Lucy. So, do you know about this one, Carol Lucy? It's from your homeland there, right? Well, actually, and the other one, the scammer one, well, she wanted to be there, but she did go there. His sister, yeah, she has the kids, yep. No, but you're speechless? It was a very bloody scene, and he just happened to have the baseball bat, and she just happened to have the paving stone or brick. Yeah. So, those are the stories that I had tonight. That's it. You swear it was made into a Lifetime movie? It sounds like every Lifetime movie. A lot of those stories sound like Lifetime movies. Hey, Lori Lillet. Hi, Earthbound. Hi, Julie. Yeah, poor children lost both of their parents. Hi, Vivian. They were two amazing stories. Okay, good. Well, hopefully one will make you more savvy, and I heard of it, but I never heard of it. I thought he was really an abusive drunk. He was drugged. Not sure, Carla. You're doing a bit better. Yeah, how's everything? How's your mom, Lisa? Hey, Leaping Lizard. Former FBI agent. Yes, he was. She had like his blood all over her face, and that's how she went to the police station, because it made her look like she got battered and then she was complaining that, oh my gosh, my neck, where he was holding my neck. On true stories, yeah. Thanks, Sonia. So, yeah, oh, Cara Lucy, listen to the others. I think you'll see a lot of scary stuff there. Hits close to home for a lot of us. Sharon's got the turkey legs out. Those look like different turkey legs, Sharon. But she's been talking about the loss, which is good. I don't want her holding it in. Oh, okay. Hope she keeps doing better. Prayers there. You take YouTube with a grain of salt. Those are fresh turkey legs? Are they like the Walt Disney World turkey legs? You missed the first hour. You had to clean the hallway. Oh, I had to clean the hallway in my house, but I didn't get to do it. But I did spray paint the fire ring. That was good. And then the rain came. Hopefully tomorrow will be nice and hot, and put the firewood in there so it's not there. We can get some of this stuff done around here. It's a crazy, crazy mess. So anyway, anybody else have anything to add on those stories or anything else? They're so big at Disney. But they're like a very odd thing. Like, and I can't stand when somebody's online eating one of those like behind you, especially if it's like they give it to like a little kid, and they're like, and they keep like, and I'm just like, you hit me with that turkey leg that you've been sucking on. If that hits me, it's gross, right? It's like, and here, hold this while I go on the ride. I don't know. I can't stand that. It's got all crap all over it. You're wearing like white pants or something, and that they keep coming by you with. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. Thinking like, who goes there to buy like the cotton candy, right? I need to get a small plane, attach a banner. Does Jimmy have a pilot's license? No, but my cousin does. Thanks to Scooter, you're loving the ASMRs. You have a really good one from the small village you moved from? I'll have to look it up. You have serious trust issues, so my radar is always on high alert from past hurts. What was done to you, Carolyn, was devastating and is a horrible eye-opener. Mm-hmm. So, you couldn't hear the end. Why not? It should have sound. Some of it was light sound. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Carolyn, it is so heartwarming to see that you are holding strong. Love you heaps and hoping for a quick resolve. Woman gives birth to triplets. She thought she had kidney stones. Really? Let's bring the cat back. Where did the cat go? How come the cat was on all night last time and now he's like gone already? That was a quick dance the cat did there. I guess you guys got him upset. You saw the FBI father-daughter murder on TV? Yeah, right? Good story. There was another one too, but that may be the time. I do take the kidney stones. Makes the girl that did what she did to me and your family seem like you got off good. Yeah, right? Could be worse for you, Danielle? It must be a shy cat today. I think it got so traumatized by you guys saying it was in the dumpster and everything. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow, isn't it, Lisa? At least that's what they say. It better be, because I really want to go swimming. Hi, Lily. The father helped his daughter stage the whole thing, right? Where's Blind Sally? I don't know where Blind Sally is. You had a coworker that had bad indigestion for weeks. She was in her very late 40s, went to the ER. Really? Oh, gosh. I saw that on one of those shows, like a 47-year-old. She didn't even know she was pregnant. They never had any children. They didn't want children. 47, they found out she was pregnant. She delivered right then and there, a healthy baby. It was crazy. But I want to go swimming tomorrow. I want to finish some projects and then so much stuff. You can have, I'll take some hot days, Jeannie. It's either, I feel so cheated out of this month of August already. It's either been cold or it's been raining. Today, we were all ready to go swimming, and Luke goes, I'm getting ready, and Luke goes, forget it, Mom, it's thundering. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then it was thundering. And we couldn't even stack the wood or anything else because the weather is so ridiculous. But it's supposed to be warm this week. Did I hear the news? What news, Casbat? What news? You have news? Which depends what news that is. Is it good news? Is it bad news? Is it, I don't know. What news? What's it usually like? It could be very, very hot here in August. It could be hot, or it could be, like I said, there are some Augusts that got cold. Robbie proposed? Really? Did she say yes? She said yes. Did he go to Jared? Robbie told me he was sick in bed today. Maybe that's why. He told me he was sick in bed, and he thanked me for the ASMR video because he was sick in bed. It's been raining at night, but 97 degrees during the day. I really want a very hot day to be in the lake. I really do. I feel like I'm getting cheated. I feel like I'm already in fall. I don't like it. Not like it at all. Delirious on NyQuil he was? He was on medication, sick in bed. Oh dear. Wait till he wakes up in the morning. In October, I'll be going to a crime dinner. Oh, I've always wanted to go to one of those murder mystery dinners. And also to a location where 6 people were killed 100 years ago and it was never solved. Interesting, Sonia. Lisa has Jess planning the wedding. I missed a lot today when I was outside with the firewood ring spray painting. Not really. No, it's been going on. There's some stuff in my community post page. You got scanned up by a lovely fellow who wanted to re-roof your garage. It was a nightmare. Yeah, oh yeah, contractors are big scam artists. You did wedding is at your lake and you're making the wedding cake. Okay. Ice cream? a lot of... Oh, I got a really nice card from J Bells with a lot of people's pictures on it. Look who's there, Casbat. Look, you're in the back, Casbat. Elvis too sent it. They're doing a live murder trial show where everything is set up like a courtroom and audience is the jury. That sounds fun. Where? Over on your side of the pond? That will be a thank you for bringing us all together. Thank you so much. We love you. Oh, you knew you were in on it too, Casbat? Thank you. You're welcome. Love you guys too. Love all of you. You have pets instead of children. Oh, okay. I do, Tico, I do. You have my email address? Email me. It's got a bunch of really mushy stuff inside. I didn't cry at all. Not one little tear when I read it. Actually, Jimmy was reading over my shoulder, and he goes like this. What? I'm not crying. You're crying? I'm not crying. He was crying too. Yes, we do, wildlife. Sorry. Hey, J Bells. Just got another rain alert. It just never ends. So we better not have rain tomorrow, and I better have hot weather. Yeah, but I think you emailed me at the Mommy Ramblings one. Please try to do it to the True Crime chat. It's in the video description. In other news, I don't know. What is this? I think this is going to be a giveaway. I think we're having a giveaway for this. I got to find out what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I have no idea, but this is the best 200 episodes ever of SpongeBob with the poster, and I've got to find the lady that's going on with this one. The lady, the press agent. And then I think this one is going to be a giveaway too. We're in a blog tour, the Llama Mess. Your son would love that, then stay tuned. I usually always get them to give a giveaway. Even if they don't have a plan, they always give me they do a giveaway. You're 20 years old? Okay. The rain is just a tease here. Yeah, I'll find out this week, hopefully. I'll go in my email and see what's going on with that. That just came. I thought it was a box of popcorn from when you tell us how court turns out. Yeah. Oh, we'll have more than popcorn then. No, there was, they're still incarcerated in North Carolina. Constantly on there. Llama Llama PJs, yeah. They're cute. I like Llama Llama. My kids have Llama Llama. They had the little stuffed guy and the blanket. So, he's moving in. Oh, what is moving in? Rain? The case is called Hinterkaifeck. Hinterkaifeck? It's on YouTube? Okay. Check it out. Check it out. You thought it was popcorn too, Muka? So anyway, I was up here like ready to go on at like 11:41, 11:45. No, probably about 12. And then I had to spend an hour reinstalling everything. But we got a lot done in 2 hours. You don't know where your glasses are when, oh, I can't, yeah, right. I don't even need my glasses to read that chat. And I've got to put my new another fresh pair of contacts in, and I won't. But you're going to be going through the Chicago winters. You need to change your name to Deaf Smoothed. Oh, good, Kindness Cake. Glad you liked it. I love technology, but really, Jimmy would say, restart your computer. I'm like, no, I've got too much stuff open. I ended up had to restart the computer and that's when everything worked. To feel for your class. You have a terrible earache in your right ear? Oh no, try some, okay, this is a trick, but if you have any melaleuca oil, tea tree oil, you put a drop of it on a cotton ball or even some toilet paper if you don't have a cotton ball, and you just put it in your ear. You don't want to pour it in your ear because it'll burn. You just put it gently in your ear and sleep like that. Usually the earache is gone in the morning. My kids love that. My kids have, knock on wood, had antibiotics. I think Ethan's had it once in his life, and Luke has had it twice, once for Lyme disease and once for strep throat. My older kids, they used to get ear infections all the time. Antibiotics. You don't have any? I think they can also say warm olive oil. Might be something you could do if you just warm it up a little bit. It might help take away some of the pain. Eric is dementing. Yes, warm olive oil. Yeah, try. Do you have any olive oil there, Wildlife? Is it, if it's water, if you have water in your ear, you could use alcohol or even peroxide. A little bit of it will. It's, I didn't get to stop. I didn't feel well, Janelle. I did get out, like I said, I was going to go swimming. And then that's when all heck broke loose and the storm came. So I was going to go down then. did get out and do the fire ring, but then they went out to dinner, and then when she called me when they got back to come on down and make my cameo appearance, I was already, this is my nightgown. I don't know if you call it a nightgown, whatever the heck it is. Actually, I use it sometimes for a bathing suit, over my bathing suit, and go down to the dock. So it's kind of like a dress with big pockets in it. That, I don't know. It's like, I wasn't going down there. I'm like, I'll see you guys tomorrow. They weren't going to be out till 11. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it then. And my daughter always goes like, I'm like, my blood pressure is a little low, because I don't tell her a bunch of stuff, because my daughter worries like a little. Why would that be? Are you going to be okay? Oh my gosh, what is it? Oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, okay. No, not that bad. It's not a house dress. That reminds me of those ones with the buttons down and the seersucker floor. Not done in those yet, Bella. Got a couple of decades before that, hopefully. This is pretty trendy. It's kind of like the one, and the guy goes, it has pockets, and he's ice skating. It has pockets. Thanks, Carol Lizzie. You've been listening. Bible person is going to write a book. Yeah, where'd you hear that? Captain. Oh yeah, R.C. Reese. Momos are totally in, no joke. House dress. Right, the house code, the house, right. Or they would wear it, didn't they? They used to wear it like over their dresses, like I Love Lucy. Didn't they wear it like over their dress, and then as soon as their husband gets home, they pull it off so that they're all fresh? You sent me an email? Okay, Tico, thank you. You like your capris. You don't have to worry about a nightgown pulling up. Yeah, I usually wear this one. It's actually, I wear this more over my bathing suit, because I can just put my bathing suit on and then put this on and I'm ready to go. It's not really, I don't even think it's marketed as a, I think it's marketed as a dress on Vipon. But I got it last year. Let's see. But it's really cozy. It's I don't know what kind of material it is. I like a flannel, but it's very, we call that an apron. Yeah. But they had some aprons that were almost like house coats, and they would You love the high apron, not quite the same. They have house dresses if you want them. You have some pullover dresses that you got from, yeah, right? I wear a lot of those. I wear a lot of like maxi, like I'll just put on my bathing suit and just throw on a maxi dress or something. What did I call you, old Nona? Okay, Nona. Oh, thanks, Amy. Love you too, girl. Okay, so you can call it loungewear, cruise wear. So you went to get your shoestring licorice. You only got once a year, and it's almost all gone. You had to share. You just went to Atlantic City, or is that the only place you can get it? You probably can order it online if you really like it. Your lungs start to close up. I don't think he can, Carol Lucy, because he'd have to give it all to the Rusacks. Because of the wrongful death suit. Deckware, lakeware, anything. Okay. A rambling, should you go ahead, Deb, on the move start? You're going to book a cruise trip? Oh, the parents? Could be. I guess they couldn't put it in his commissary account. Deborah Barron, boom, can be due. Can be due. So anything else going on? Some lady's writing it from the Baptist group and she's promoting it. Says he told her stuff nobody has heard, no, I won't buy it. The Baptist group. Selling my, yeah, you know what it is, Tico? And I remember when Casbat got her stuff, and I said, I remember, I was at that Teespring site, and it's not the site. It's every time I put the stupid logo up there, it says that it's not the right resolution. So I go back into the program, and I make it the highest resolution, and then it says, no, I can only make it like this big. And it looks ridiculous like that. So that's where I got stuck, Casbat. That was my problem. It wasn't the Teespring site is easy to use. I have a problem with the stupid resolution. So I need like a new logo or something. I don't know what. See, I've got so many different things. It's hard because I'll get it. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm going to. No, the future son-in-law is not in, and I don't know that he is. And if you're listening, I'm not saying that you are, because you're not. I haven't even met you. I don't even know. So don't even get your hopes up there, buddy. Okay. No, this is just people that are on a certain board professionally that are there. None of them came up with their significant others at all. It's not allowed. It's very frowned on. I asked my daughter if he was, my daughter said, Mom, this is a business retreat. No one is bringing a significant other. So, but I will make mine, because they come every year. I usually sit and have a campfire with these guys and gals, and I told you one of the girls is the one that always has these riddles that she gets from the team building experience. Like if you were in a room and it had a pool and there was only two people, she gives you these crazy things. I was going to get some from her to see if she had any new ones this year that we could do here, because they're very thought-provoking. I did, Tico. I did. That's what I thought. I don't know. I'll try again. You know me. I'm not going to give up. Oh, when do you want to do that, Deb? Next? Do you want to do that tomorrow? Can you do it tomorrow? Tell us about the case that was in your town. Want to do it tomorrow? I can pencil it in for tomorrow. $20,000, whisper to me. Let me know, Deb, on the move. We can put you down for tomorrow. Let's get you to commit to it right now. What else you've got going on? You try to find it to refresh. All right, you get your stuff together, and okay, everybody remember that Deb on the moves on the story tomorrow. All right, got it? So you're going to tell us a story that happened in your hometown that was on 48 Hours or one of the shows, right? Lots of twists and turns. So you've got time to do your research. And if you have pictures or stuff, you could send me the link, or you could even share your screen if you want. But if you can't, you could send me the link, and I can post the pictures for you. You have a good one too? Okay. When do you want to come on? You want to make it a double header? You can go after Deb tomorrow night, Melly Mel? You can't. Why, Sakura? Why can't you? You don't have to put your face on there. I mean, you should, but you don't have to. You could sit in the dark like someone else did, or you could just put a picture up, or just sit on a blank screen. Oh, you're going to be working early mornings? Oh, boy. We'll miss you. Should really do one of those crime dinners. How would I do that? How can I do that? You mean like at an event space? Tell me more. Send me an email. You had cops everywhere in your town this week. Bunch of kids killed a lawyer with a... Oh my gosh, why? They've been looking for the weapon? Great. Oh, the laundry room, yeah. That's creepy. Well, you could focus on like some people focus on something in their house. You could do that too. Remember in typing class we would be, and now these kids are probably typing thousands of words. We don't know. Were they involved in a case with this guy? Why would they kill him? That's crazy. Or was he a random lawyer like on the street, and he just happened to be a lawyer? They didn't go after him because he was a lawyer. It was a random killing or something? Could be that? Huh. I don't know. That's horrible. All of them are 17 and under. He was in a shopping mall. Then it sounds like a random... And they just went after the one person? That's crazy. Hey, Kelly. Yeah. So much, too much. Sure, send me a link. Oh, there was a big, what was happened? Oh, a plane, a Cessna, 3 passengers in it, crashed into a house in Dutchess County. And just the house is gone. They can't find a man that was in the house. They got one woman out of the house and I think one dog, and there's 3 dogs missing, and then the pilot was killed, but the 2 other men that were in the plane were okay. House is demolished. Caught fire. It was an inferno. And what else? Oh, and then we have the rice cooker. You guys heard about this one? The rice cooker incident in New York City on the Fulton Street subway. And then in Chelsea, there were 3 rice cookers placed there. And when they went in to get the kid that did it, but did you see how they carried him out? It was almost like, it was really weird. He looked like he was in a school desk. Did anybody see the way he was carried out of there? And then they said something about they got called there on a drug overdose or something. Yeah. And Jimmy's like, rice cookers, they're pressure cookers. I don't know. They're Instant Pots. Right? Yeah. So that was that, and then they got him out, and then it was all fake. I mean, there was no bombs or anything in them. It was just this. And what else was the other thing? I usually don't watch the news either, but they had that explosion, and then there was another area in New Jersey. Actually, my girlfriend lives in there, and what the heck was it? Oh no, I think she moved from there. Hawthorne. They evacuated people in the middle of the night because there was a gas leak. And I can't think of Jade Angel. Carol, because he loves the electric pressure cooker. My daughter called us up the other day, and she goes something like, "Oh, you guys have to try making corn in the Instant Pot." And Jimmy's like, "We've been doing that for 6 years already, maybe more, because before the Instant Pot we had electric pressure cooker a long time." And she's like, "Really?" She's like, "Oh, I do it for 2 minutes." She thought she was telling us something. Yeah. Told headmaster that 2 little monstered. What? Months ago there was a national gathering. Oh no. Wow. Sorry to hear that, Tico. That's terrible. Fake or not is deplorable. Of course, absolutely. Get a chance, just look up Cosmo DiNardo, Pennsylvania. Cosmo DiNardo. Oh, so did you say are you gonna come on and talk about that tomorrow? You can focus your camera on something else. Where's my pen? Let me know, Melly Mel. You've been running around with starting college. Yeah. Where is he going? Are you going to Rutgers? Where is he going? Let's see here. You probably stutter the whole time. Really? So you're not going to do it? You're not going to do it? Cosmo DiNardo. Aldi sold pressure. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? There was a big thing. You've got to be careful. You cannot fill them up with liquid past a certain line. Some of it is user error. Like the one I saw is terrible, but You've got to really be careful. Just like the old time pressure cookers, you got to be careful too. My mother always acted like it was like we weren't even allowed in the kitchen when the thing. She was like scared to death of it. The one that was on the stovetop, and she only used it for like two things, which was these artichokes that she made that had like a breadcrumb and a tomato sauce. They had a stuffing, and they were out of this world. And string beans and potatoes, which is in like a tomato kind of broth. There's an Italian delicacy, whatever. But that's what they use the pressure cooker for. And it had, remember that sound? And the little thing would be turning around. She wouldn't let us in the kitchen because you could freak her out if you like. When we got to know, she was so afraid of. We were, should we touch that? Oh my gosh, get out! And then she would be so freaked out. She would take it, she'd put it in the sink, and she was like deathly afraid of it. And then it was like when she finally got the lid open, I think she got down, she genuflected. It was a big thing. So she would have loved the electric ones because they're much less scary. But if you do something, they can, now I don't know, maybe Aldi's did have, I don't know what brand they had or whatever. You were just like that? Oh my gosh. Those are the, like, everybody out of the kitchen. I'm taking the pressure cooker off. And we would sit there like we were in the next room. Like, is Mom going to live? Is she going to live? And then you'd hear the release. Okay, she made it through another pressure. It was always, oh my gosh. But like then I was getting like that. The first couple of times I used I was like making Jimmy to do that. But if that kind that she had, I think I would be scared to death on that. I don't even think I would attempt that. Like a bomb. That's what she was treating it like, Danielle. I'm not kidding. We were like not even allowed. You were like, you couldn't even breathe in the kitchen when that was going on. Sometimes you feel, yeah. You just used a big pot because it had that little metal. What was it? It had an actual. The heck was that called? A regulator, right? And then it would. You get two going at once. The old ones didn't have the safety plugs. Oh yeah, Carol. Your mom was like that too. Get out of the kitchen, we could all die. I'm taking my life in my hands making this. Yeah, it was like she was so freaked out. And then you could just like drive her over the edge. Scared that, yeah. I really don't think I could do it. I'm amazed that my mother could have even gone through that. Like even without my father going through there. Uh-oh, you unhit him, Casbot. Okay, hit him again. Okay, good. You still use this stuff? There's an old commercial around YouTube. It's hysterical. Italian families are nuts. Your mother she put her life on the line for this dinner. Yeah. She could have been killed. Just using the pot. Yeah, but there was only two things that you had to cook in this pressure cooker, and it was the artichokes and the string beans and the potatoes. Hey, Angel Callie, how's your mom doing? So there was only one way in. Yeah. Well, we had a pocket door, and we had to stay in the family room. You could not be in the kitchen. New Sebastian. Oh, Sebastian Maniscalco? Which one? It's different. Oh, then he always makes me laugh like that. It's different than Stay Hungry? There's another one? I have to watch that and laugh. It actually exploded, your computer? You know what I have had explode on me? I'll tell you. She's doing okay. She's freaking out because she got fitted with her life vest. What does that mean? No, the artichokes are stuffed with a breadcrumb stuffing, and then you put a little tomato sauce on the top of them, and that was one thing. And then there's an Italian dish called, it sounds weird, but it's string beans, fresh string beans, and potatoes cut up in a kind of like a tomato sauce. It almost comes like a soup. I know it sounds crazy, and but it's something from very old Italians will remember it, and it's like Italian comfort food, believe it or not. And when it's with the tomato stuff, it tastes really good. The vest. Oh, so like a pacemaker, but it's a vest? They can't put a pacemaker in? Why? She'd do string beans and tomato? He's in a black and white shirt. Oh, yeah, no, I think I've seen that one. I have to go look if it's because he's worn a black and white shirt before, but he's hysterical whatever you watch him. Yeah, he's very funny. She called it adding the gravy. My dad had a pacemaker. My grandfather got a pacemaker at like 90 years old, believe it or not. Got his batteries changed at 95. My grandfather lived till he was almost 102. The computer started producing smoke. So the mishaps I've had was, remember the barbecues, the gas barbecues back in probably the early 90s? They used to have a glass window on them. Does anybody remember the ones that used to have a glass window, like a cooking window that you could look in? And I remember, I don't know, I was cooking lamb chops. I think it was lamb chops on the barbecue. And that glass shattered. And I freaked out because glass went everywhere. Why would you do that? Yes, I've seen. Why would you do? Is that when he talks about Uber and the Uber kitten? And why would you do an Airbnb? Is that? And right? And the selfies that they're always taking. Are you serious? Changing his pacemaker? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Wildlife. My dad had a new pacemaker. My dad got a pacemaker at 72. And he had his batteries changed. I don't know, like five years later. The lady said not to get around anyone who it gives her a jolt. When it gives her a jolt, I told her I would pick my worst enemy and do it around them. Come on over. Is she coming home soon? Yes, right. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. You should go watch Stay Hungry. But so I had that, and then at the time they told me, I'm like, how could this happen? And they gave me some excuse, and I don't remember what they did. They sent me a new lid or something. I don't know what the heck it was. Then one time I got another barbecue. I had the store put it together, and I went to light it for the first time, and I'm like pushing the ignition, right? I swear to you, this thing came like a firebug, right? You know, like who did that happen to? Something on like Christmas Vacation, right? When the whole tree went up behind him. Well, that's what it was like, except that it went like flying out at me. Like sometimes this stove behind me, Jimmy says I'm doing it wrong. There's a turbo burner. It's a gas stove. When I put it on the light, and I'll hold it there for a minute, and Jimmy says I make my mistake here, then when it finally lights, it goes like this. Whoosh! And I swear, I'm like, oh my gosh, it almost lit me on fire. And he's like, no, I stay away from that burner. Jimmy says it's my fault, but I don't think it is. Anyway, that's what the barbecue did. It just went like this, whoosh, and then it was gone, right? And then I looked at my arm. Now, I don't have a lot of hair on my arm at all, okay? But whatever light hair I had, it was gone. I had nothing. I think it took like a few of my eyebrows off. It was crazy. You've seen all his? He is hysterical. Oh, is it 3:33? Yeah, thanks, Jill. You caught your hair on putting candles around. Oh my gosh, full flaming hair. One time, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I was in a restaurant. We were sitting down. Somebody had a lighter, and I was very young. And when I say very young, 19, okay, not 5. And I was just flicking the lighter. I don't smoke or anything. I was just flicking the lighter while we were waiting for something. And it was like whoosh. And then I thought my hair caught on fire, right? And the person across the table was saying something, and I didn't know what the hell she was saying because she was speaking in like another language, and it was. And I turned to the person next to me and I said, "Am I on fire?" And they were laughing or something. I don't know what it was. And I had this shirt. It was like part of like this 90s fashion, like jumpsuit kind of thing, but it was separate. And it just had snaps down in it. It tied on the bottom, right? I thought I was on fire. So I tried to run to the bathroom of the restaurant, but I thought I was on fire and nobody was talking. So as I was running, I ripped my shirt off, okay? Thankfully, it wasn't crowded, and the hallway where the bathroom was dark, but my shirt was off going down to the bathroom. And I was so mad when I came back and I said, I asked you if I was on fire and you didn't say anything. And they were like, Carolyn, if you were on fire, don't you think we would have said something a little more, or we would have tried to put you out or something? And I said, if the restaurant would have been full, come on. Yeah, it was bad. But I do. Sometimes I think that, like, when that burner goes off on me, like, I go, like, that was a close one. And then I think, like, wait a minute, is it my back on fire like that guy in Christmas Vacation and I just don't feel it yet? So I get scared. Because that happened to somebody I know. My brother-in-law's sister was on fire in front of the stove. I had no idea she was on fire. And then my brother-in-law went in there, her brother, and he's like, you're on fire. And then he patted her out, but trying to put me out or something. Cooking breakfast, bacon, and the burners set your bathtub. Oh my gosh, I did that once. I once took a dish towel this is when we didn't have gas, when we had electric. And I took the dish towel and I threw it onto the stove because it was like one of those glass top, but it was hot. I went in the other room and the dish towel was burning on fire on the stove. That was crazy. And then once in this house, not with this kitchen, there was some kind of a weird baking pan. I threw it out after this. It actually, this is like late 90s, had a plastic insert. Like I was like, how could plastic go in the oven? But it was in a metal cake pan, but it looked just like a layer pan. I didn't realize I had only taken the plastic part out this one time. Put it in the oven, right? It caught on fire. My double oven that I had then, right? And my mother was still alive at this point because this is shortly before, right after we built this house. So I am freaking out because my son, who's now 30, was like 2, and he's like, fire. And I'm like, oh my gosh, fire, right? So there's flames in there. I'm like, what do I do? And I'll tell you what you don't do, okay? My mother was saying, like, get salt or something and just throw salt or baking. We had a kitchen fire extinguisher. Have you ever used a kitchen fire extinguisher? Unless it's an emergency that you're, like, I mean, I thought it was an emergency. It is the biggest mess to clean up that you have no idea. So I took the kitchen fire extinguisher, opened the oven, I was like, shh, right? All of that stuff, that baking soda or whatever the freak it is, got on every surface. My mother and I were here the next day, her and I, on ladders, every surface had, and I just said, this is insane. But I took, I'm like, I'm never buying one of those pans again. Of course, I threw that one out. I think I had an extra, like a sister to it or pair, and I threw them all out. I don't even understand. They probably outlawed them. They were probably recalled. Probably happened. Goes over the whole house. Yeah, it was nuts. Worst burn ever was dropping. Oh, yikes, that sounds bad. Oh, gosh. Grace, that sounds pretty bad. Stuff everywhere. Yeah, I don't think I would ever pick up a fire extinguisher if I could put a fire out in any other way. And my daughters just, when she lived in this apartment, she had a grease fire on the stove and she didn't know what to do. And then someone's like, put a lid on it. I don't know what she put first, like, she should tell the story because it was just as crazy. Then she got it out. Then she wasn't sure if, like, she was going to be okay, if she had some, so she, like, kept calling, like, the building guy to come up, and oh my gosh. And once she left, like, the gas thing on for a little bit, and she swore that she was, like, harmed by the fumes, so she had the guy coming up because their windows, there's like a special thing to open them, and she freaks over stuff like that. But she doesn't get upset about so many other things. There's certain things that she gets excited about. Other things she's like calm as a cucumber. I think there's a terrorist on the subway. Oh, it's all right. I got it. But like, your dad, ooh, yikes, Evie. Should have left the kitchen. No, but I should have just got some, I don't know, like baking soda or something. I just thought it was going to be an easy fix. I had never used a kitchen fire extinguisher. He set his kitchen on fire and he ran the hose. Oh, yeah. Paraffin fire? No. Why? With those nail bath things, those hot wax things that were... Googling cooking fails when people put pizza in the oven. I did that not so long ago with the cardboard. I didn't feel the cardboard thing underneath, and I usually do. But this pizza was really, really thin or something, and I noticed it in time. I was like, oh. Yeah, smoke alarm batteries. Right. That's usually in October. They make you do that with setting back the clocks. The host with no pressure. Cut his finger off. Oh my gosh. Our neighbor did that. He was really into woodworking and stuff, and he cut his thumb off. And all the neighbors went, this is when I was a kid, all the neighbors went looking for it, and they went and they got it, and you're supposed to put it in milk or something, which I never understand why you put it in milk. But they couldn't reattach it, but he cut it off above the, oh gosh. And then a boy my daughter went to school with, he had a horrific accident at this, and he was like champion sports kid at a lumber mill. I can't even think. I get like so sick when I think it. Oh, is it milk? No. Okay, then it's ice. Then it's do I have to? Okay, yeah. Teeth and milk. Okay, I'm mixing up two stories. Sorry about that. The teeth. You're right. The teeth go in milk. The finger went on ice. You want it? Boiling a Christmas pudding in a plastic bowl, and you forget to top up water. Oh yeah. Find the igniter switch, gets a wee bit clogged. They used to sell jam. Oh, with paraffin. It came in blocks, and you melted it in pans. Oh, okay. Also, we used to, all those kits that they used to give kids in the 70s and the 80s, like the candle making kits. I told you the glass cutting kit where you got bottles and you cut them, and these were marketed for kids back then. We were, I guess, I don't know, hardier bunch. We were the bunch that didn't wear bike helmets and stuff. We didn't even know what the heck a bike helmet was. But yeah, they had one of those things was the candle making kit, right? And you had those big blocks of stuff to do on the stove. Yeah, and that's 10, 8 and up. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, hot wax on the stove, pouring that. That's good for kids. My sister had the glass cutting kit. We had the candle kit. Did those with my mother. We made tons of floating candles because my mother always put floating candles on the lake. For the 4th of July, she lit candles and they floated on the lake. I've never seen anyone do that but my mother, but my mother was known for that. Accidentally killed. Oh my gosh, Scooter. Oh my gosh. That's what I saw in the news today. Did you see the man that at the car wash, he killed his wife accidentally because he put it, something happened, the car was rolling or something, and he went to pull it one way, but he pulled it back instead and ran her over and killed her. She used her stovetop to store cleaning products. Explosives. Oh my goodness. Now you have $1,000 smile. Tractor. Oh gosh. I was just thinking about a horrific one, an absolute horrific one with someone that I know. I can't even. We have a lot of farm country, and knock on wood, I don't hear many of those, but there is one that is so horrific. I can't even retell. I can't even. Oh my gosh. Traumatizing. He stepped on the gas in reverse by mistake. Oh. Ran his mother over. Oh my gosh. That oh my gosh. That kind of stuff is bad. So anyway, I think we better call it a night. But we have Deb on the move tomorrow with her town story, and if I can, I'll look up this. I would really like you to come on and talk about it. This Cosmo DiNardo. Just send me an email, Angel Callie. I thought I sent that to you, didn't I? Check your email. I thought I answered you on that. I sent you an email, didn't I? Oh, we're leaning over the hood. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, Carol, that's terrible. All right, well, thanks to all of our mods, and thanks to everyone for coming, and everybody have, praying for your mom and everyone else, Kathy from Texas's son, and everyone else that needs help, and for everyone in general, everybody could use prayers. All right, everybody take care. See you guys. Love yous. Bye-bye. Going back. Okay. Let me figure out. I got to...